Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. Hope everyone had a good work week and they didn't work too hard. Sorry about that weirdness with the intro there. It just decided to pause randomly on me for some reason. I don't know why. But thank you all again for joining us on another episode of the UltraCast. I am once again your host, the Ultra American Teacher RPGer, the Jim Jones of Classic Gaming, and everyone's favorite American Tiefling. And I am once again joined by two of our usual cast members. I got the one who always has to try to wrangle us all together as the step parent that he has to act as sometimes. We got Mr. Roger.
Howdy, it's a difficult job, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
And then we also got our good buddy who is the biggest Star Trek nerd I think I've ever met. We have Mar Hockman.
Hey, how are you doing?
All right. So I do apologize in advance because when I originally made to the listening audience, when I made the pre the scheduled live stream link, I originally was thinking we were going to do Flushed Out, but because we are down a couple people today, we are actually going to be switching things up a bit. So instead of playing Out in the Black Hack by our good buddy Roger, we're gonna play his. We're gonna run through his Space Labyrinth game by our good friend Roger. So yeah, the same guy made both these games. So and he
And by
just
the way,
finished.
I'm not that Roger.
Yeah, different Roger. So or I think like Brainstorm Games is also what he is. His little company goes by. Brainstorm Books and Games. That's it. So I'm looking
Yeah,
at the back
yeah,
of the book right here. So
yeah. Much like how people don't necessarily know who you're talking about when you say Mark. Yeah, the same is true of Roger.
yeah, it's like get me a room where there's like two other hunters and like Hunter, yes, not you, the other one. Do you ever have that happen, Roger, where someone calls out to you when you think it's your name, but we're talking to someone else?
Sometimes, but that's also just due to I have another name that I go by from like other people who know me like it, per uh personally that I live by. So whenever I'm online, it's Roger. When I'm out and about, it's RJ.
Ooh, I like that, RJ. That's kind of cool. All right, so don't worry, everyone. After this is done, I'll go back and I'll change the thumbnail and the title of this stream. But we right now, I'm
Unless
going
you're watching the archive and you have no idea what he's talking about because he would have already done it by then.
to. Also true. Yep. So I'm gonna run through the character creation really quick for Roger and Marhawk about their space labyrinth dwellers that they're going to be playing as, and then if time allows, we may do a little bit of space dungeon crawling in a sense, because basically the idea of space labyrinth is these characters come across like a abandoned space station where where like crazy space monstrosities are found hidden aboard somewhere, and they have to kind of make their way through and kind of get to the bottom of the story of the ship. So okay, so I sent everyone the character sheets earlier, and I do apologize. It's not a form fillable one, so you either have to use like a PDF editor thing or print it out and write on it yourself.
Or do like I do and screenshot it and paste it into MS Paint.
Never thought about that before, so I don't even think I use MS Paint or Windows Paint for that much of anything.
I'm someone who has 30 years of experience with MS Paint, so using it for stuff like this just feels natural to me, solely because of the fact that I have 30 years of experience with MS Paint.
All right, so what you need. Ooh, let me read this intro part really quick to get a better explanation for you, all guys, about this game. You are an intrepid space adventurer while returning from an exploration mission in uncharted deep space. You receive a distress call from the Epoch Science Station on asteroid Gamma 89. Your ship is damaged on the approach. After surviving a crash landing, you quickly discover that there seems to be no human survivors here. Terrible monsters, perhaps created here by the scientists or arriving through a dimensional rift, have overrun the facility. Your energy pistol seems ineffective against them, but there is hope. The scientists created something called the Star Sword, a powerful weapon that can only remain on this plane of existence for brief periods. This weapon shatters their molecular stability. You must not only survive against these creatures, but you must find air for your spacesuit. The facility's air is contaminated with strange spores and is unbreathable. You must find air tanks, battle terrifying monstrosities, and find a way to escape. Somewhere in this labyrinthian structure, you must find a way off this rock.
Okay, sounds simple enough.
All right. So for these dice, so for this game, you only need like your typical set of dice, with the exception of the you don't need a d20 and you don't need the 10 percentile die. It's just d4, d6, d8, d10, and the d12.
Okay.
But it's like you can give your 20. It says right here you can give your 20-sided die a break, but if you really want to use it, you may use it to roll a random name for your space adventurer. Right. You guys got character sheet. It says pen.
So Cyrus writes in YouTube chat something about how it sounds like we're. Well, he technically said it sounds difficult, but my impression of this is that he means like difficult, as in we're probably going to die.
That's always a given. So I hold no bars like when it comes to my game mastering skills. So it does say usually if you want to, we're going to basically theory remind this, but the one thing he does is because it does kind of give like little directions, like drawings for like the rooms you go down in the hallways. So if you do actually want to map out like the facility layout, it tells you to use graph paper. But we're basically going to be theater of the minding this for this session, because me personally, I'm not the biggest one for mapping. So, all right. So for your space adventurer, it says assign a d6, a d8, and a d10 among your 3 statistics. And your 3 statistics are fight, flight, and wits. Fight is used to fight monsters using the Star Sword or in other combat situations. Flight is used to flee monsters and avoid certain hazards. Wits is used to solve problems, locate the Star Sword, use certain items, and to avoid various other hazards. So again, you assign one of those 3 stats, a d6, a d8, or a d10.
Okay. I think I'll do a D10 for fight. Holy shit, and I actually rolled a 10.
Well, you just used up your luck there.
You don't know that.
Oh. No,
All right.
last night during the stream, I was talking to a creator of a superhero game he's working on. And after we went to the character creation, we did a short little combat to test it all out. And it was funny, when the last round, when the enemy attacked, they rolled a 1, and then when I attacked back, I rolled a 20.
Are you sure that we're supposed to roll the dice and then write the number down on the sheet, or?
Oh no, you assigned the die size, you assigned the die type to the
Okay.
sheet.
That's what I was thinking from reading the rules. I just wanted to double check, because he was saying something about like rolling stats. Like, wait, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. That's why I've been doing this rolling for the stats.
No, you don't roll. You don't roll for the stats. You assign that die size to the stat. So, and then when I asked you like to roll like a fight, flight, or wits check, you roll that die size.
Okay. Well, is there anywhere that we put on there so that we make sure that we know what we're rolling it for?
On the character sheets, yeah, right where it says ability, you just write. That's where you should put it on the little lines next to it, and then
okay.
Yeah, hold on, I'm double checking this to make sure. It's been a minute since I had actually looked through this, but yeah, also notice the ability scores to define your character. Yeah, because these can increase. So it starts at that, but your current die size can change.
Okay. All right.
I was wondering about that. It's like D6, D8, and D10. Like, They intentionally set this up so that it can be reduced to a D4, didn't they?
Either down to a D4 or up to a D12. Because those are the only 5 die sizes looks like it says you will be using for this, except if you want to roll a D20 for your random space adventurer name.
All right. Well, I've got mine sorted out. I'm gonna do a D10 for fight, D6 for flight, and a D8 for wit.
All right. Have
Yeah,
you got?
I decided to go with 8 for fight, 6 for flight, and 10 for wits.
All right. Now, every space adventure, it says in here, you all possess a spacesuit with limited air supply. And then it says in parentheses, no, not the band. So I guess there's a band that's called Air Supply.
Reading
None.
this book, he has a whole bunch of silly, corny jokes in it that I don't really think require serious consideration.
I mean,
Like
that does seem.
if you look at the front page, he makes a joke about how this tabletop RPG does not require batteries.
Which I thought was actually kind of funny. The not needing batteries for a tabletop game compared to what all the other tabletop systems are trying to do these days. All right, so yeah, a spacesuit with limited air supply, and you also get an energy pistol that is mostly useless. You also get a comlet risk communicator, which it's a comlet, it's a risk communicator, health monitor, air tracker, auto mapper, and theme song player. And then it says you also have bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. Right, and then let me find where the names are listed in here. Here it is. All right, so if you guys want to do roll, do you guys have a name you want to give your character, or do you guys want to both roll for random names?
I'm rolling for a random name, and I rolled 1.
Okay, so your first name is Rock. Roll it again.
Oh hell yeah! Hold on, I want to make sure I get this rock. Hold on a second.
Oh, so, Marhawk, if you just want to roll 2d20 for your random name, you can do that while we're waiting for Roger to come back.
Well, where's that in the book?
On page 16.
Oh.
Hey guys, I am so sorry, but we may need to just hold off on the whole entire thing. I just received a call from my mom, and her car's not starting up, and I need to pick her up.
That's fine. We
Yeah,
could just
sorry about that.
I could go over this with you guys behind the scenes, and if we want to finish these
Well,
characters, we can. So,
I mean, I could spend a few more minutes on here looking at this for you because, like, it's like me going over
Oh,
this for a few minutes is just to like figure out how character creation works. Shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, you all can keep going, but I do need to get going. Sorry about that, but y'all take care.
all right. Hope everything gets better, Roger. All right. So, what did you get
Yeah.
for your random name, Marhawk?
Uh, Nick Garrett.
Nick Garrett.
Looking over this stuff, a lot of these are obvious references to pulp sci-fi characters, because like there one of the last names is Crab, which is the last name of an actor who played Flash Gordon at one point in time, Buster Crab.
Nice.
And then there's Arden, which Dale Arden is one of the characters in Flash Gordon.
Okay, that's funny. So
I'm not sure where all of what all of them are from, but you know, I noticed a few of them that caught my attention. Oh, and also the fact that there's one of them is Rogers is an obvious reference to Buck Rogers, I guess.
oh yeah, of course. Like it's all like old school like sci-fi space stuff that I've obviously have never seen. So even though I technically do own Flash Gordon because I bought like a Ted double feature movie and it came with the Flash Gordon movie on it, and I still have not watched it.
Well, here's a fun one for you. You want to look at the old 40s and 50s Flash Gordon? You can just watch that on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I bet. I'll have to probably look that up sometime. So all right. Yeah, I'm trying to see like because it says I'm trying to looking at some of these rules. And I know like because the original rule is whenever you move, you roll for your air supply to see if it goes down or not. But I'm trying to remember exactly how you rolled for air. Oh, or roll for air if required. See air supply. Okay. Air supply starts at level 3. Movement, fighting monsters, and dealing with hazards and events may reduce your oxygen level. Whenever you reach a new branching section, before switching to your current position, roll a d4. If you roll higher than your current air level, reduce it by 1. If you have visited this area before, you do not have to roll. But I think there is an optional rule in here that I think we'll be using to where is you don't have to you only roll for air after you fight a monster. You don't have to roll for air just for moving around. Because I think that's kind of weird that you have to roll for air every time you move.
I think that the intent here is for rolling for air to be a part of exploration, so that any location you've already explored, you don't.
Yep. Hey, Spartan. Yeah, we're just going over the this other Space Labyrinth game by our by the guy who made the Out in the Black Hat game we were running, Brainstorm Books and Games, which is also his name is also Roger. So so we're just going over this, the kind of doing a little sessions here, going over the game really quick. To that way, if there's ever a day where it's just like one or two of us, instead of just not having a session, we can just pick up Space Labyrinth and play that. Then I think that's pretty much it though for character creation to start off with. It's a very simple, fast process. You just have your abilities, and then you can find other items and stuff as you search through the maze. Like, let me see here. Yeah, you can find more air supply tanks. You can find jetpacks, megastem capsules. Used 1d4 megastem capsules. Used to roll 2 dice to keep the better result on fight or flight rolls. But you must roll 2 dice to take the worst result on wits rolls. The effects wear off if you rest at any point by expending 1 air or find and use food and drink.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, food and drink will use once to replenish any ability scores that have been reduced to their full starting value. And so, how are you eating and drinking while wearing a spacesuit and helmets? Very carefully. That's how. That's what it says in the book.
I mean, there is that whole thing with old sci-fi where they did actually come up with stuff for that, and people actually did like explain that sort of thing. It's just well, what's the best way to put this? Actual astronauts take off their spacesuit to do it, but people have actually come up with like theoretical ideas for that for like a long time. Because one of the ideas was actually based on the fact that a lot of the food that they have for astronauts is actually just kind of like it has the consistency of toothpaste, even though it doesn't taste like toothpaste. So you basically just like have a package of that in your suit, and then you push a button on your suit to squirt it into your mouth.
Yeah. Um. And Spartan, yeah, we could do the Starforged version of the Starforged, which is the space version of Ironsworn, which is meant for more solo play. The only problem I have with the Ironsworn games is the rules are super convoluted. That it's really hard to try to figure out like how like the progress stuff is supposed to work. So I like Iron Swarm is good in concept, and if that's kind of your jam, I'm glad people will enjoy the game. I've read through it and I didn't like it. So
Also, it's like actual astronaut suits do have a water tube that basically does the same thing, but it's only water.
yep, and then you have all these yeah, all the tables in here are basically like D12 tables, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, you have all these event tables in here. And then yeah, the when you move, you roll on a D12 table to basically be like what kind of room you go into.
Yeah, but what I saw from like a quick glance over said it's basically a hex crawl, but with a square grid.
Yeah, it's basically a space dungeon crawl is what it is for the most part. Is how I kind of chalk it up to. But I mean, yeah, that's basically it. So there's not really much to go over besides that. Besides, when it comes to combat, you basically, yeah, it's all player roles. There's nothing that I do on my end besides just kind of narrate like what happens and what the monsters do.
Well, I mean, that is actually a thing with a lot of older TTRPGs is that the DM is there to push things along. It's not there to challenge the players. The players are just doing stuff, and the DM is there to facilitate doing stuff.
Yeah, and then Spartan, it's not space travel at all. It's more like a space horror light, is what I would call it. Like it's a rules light game with some kind of space horror elements mixed in. Not really like Iron Sworn at all. Very much not as rules heavy as Iron Sworn is. Uh, yeah. Like I've been trying to think about like other like because I think the idea is like even though we may do the Wendy's Feast of Legends fantasy game at one point, I feel like for our group the vibe is like we do like sci-fi games for the most part. So I'm trying to think of like other like science fiction like RPGs that we can play.
Mm. To be honest, the Wendy's thing, someone made a comparison with that kind of pushed it into the whole like what has been seen can never be unseen territory, which is comparing the way the Wendy's setting is described in the book with Warhammer. And I look at that, then I look back at the book and it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Uh, I mean, I don't think it does not come off as like a Warhammer kind of vibe because it. Are you talking about like 40K or Warhammer Fantasy?
Well, see, because like, I'm not actually familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, but like 40K has the whole idea of like here's all the evil factions that the Imperium has to fight to prevent their empire from getting obliterated. Which that aspect kind of fits with things, and then you have like the different factions having different themes and like they're just all like different ideas of things and again, it's not a particularly, detailed analogy.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason it's more fantasy than I would say like 40K is because you have it's got kings and queens and swords and shields. Very much more like medieval knight type vibes and like
Well,
space marines.
yeah. But like, I'm like the way that the world building is set up, not the way that the game mechanics work.
Hold on, let me look because yeah, I really wish like someone like had put this up on a site where you can just get like a POD of the game because that is another one that I want to explore. It's like not it's like I want because I bought all the site did all the old school traveler like PDFs for like $16. So I have like 60 plus files of like old school traveler of the old school traveler game, and that is one that I've been wanting to, because I've heard a lot of good things about the Mongoose one, but I really want to try the old school traveler game
Hmm.
over Mongoose. And then don't get me. And now they're now making a 5e version of the traveler game. And I'm like, what the? That's fucking retarded.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. Why more
Uh,
5e slop?
yeah. The thing with the Wendy's game is that apparently they had like an outside contractor making it for Wendy's as part of some sort of promotional thing. And then when that was the promotional period was over with, and Wendy's was no longer paying this outside contractor to promote the marketing thing, everything got banned.
I know that I guess at like some con, like Wendy's actually had a small print run of books that they sold, if I
Yep.
recall correctly, or they gave them
Or
out to like
yeah.
VIP members.
I don't know exactly how that worked, but apparently there are paper copies of it floating around, most of which are stuck in someone's collection, never to see the light of day.
I know there was one site I came across that had that had like a POD option where it's like someone had uploaded the file to like the site, and it was like, hey, you can pay like for like this much to like get the book made, but it wasn't cheap though. Yeah, like I just found it, the site that's using it. Like if I wanted the I don't know what it means by a full color dust jacket.
Oh, full
Like,
color dust jacket. That is a paper sheath that goes over the cover of the book.
oh, I hate those.
Yeah, not everyone likes them. It's like
Yeah,
the reason that they exist is because they were a cheap way to make books look cooler than they really were. That was actually a big part of the reason why they became popular. And then people started making books that actually had all of that stuff printed on the actual cover.
yeah. Like the game, like it's not even 100 pages. It's only like 96. And so the site that I found it on, someone uploaded the Presto photo, and I wonder what the shipping quote would be on this. Now let me look now because it's the soft cover alone. It says it's like $33 if I want to get a soft cover version of the book. Because my hard rule is, yeah, because my hard rule is if it's less than 200 pages, I get it in soft cover. Of course, I just freaking put in an order for a book that's like almost like 400 pages that's coming in soft cover. And it was a game I backed on Kickstarter. Oh no, you haven't bothered us at all, Cyrus. You've been doing all right. And
Okay,
then
Spartan. Like the whole idea of like having your character die during character creation is one of those things that I've personally always found to be one of the stupidest things ever. Now, I get the whole idea of like, oh, hey, not every character is going to be as good and blah 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 blah. It's just that having them actually die as part of character creation seems a bit too much in that regard. Uh,
basically, if I want to get this shipped, and it's oh, here we go. Yeah, it would be like about $8 shipping, but then it says it'll possibly arrive in like 4 days. So I'm curious to see how fast they actually print these out for just one book. That's actually not bad. So I'd be paying like maybe somewhere between 40 to $45 for this.
hmm.
Which
Uh,
honestly, if PayPal's option on here, I just put it in the pay later. So I split the 4 bi-weekly payments. So, huh. I may save this link, and actually I may do that after I get my this first round of books, because I split my the Reaver RPG, which is the game I backed on Kickstarter. I just did that under the pay in 4, which the interesting thing about I'll have to actually do a thing about Reaver at some point because Reaver it uses all the weird dice like DCC, but it's like I don't know what they exactly call the mechanic, but it's one of those things where it's like if you do a roll, you get the max amount of that die, you then go up to the next die size and roll that one on top of it. But it includes all those DCC weird dice as well, so it goes like D5, D7, D9s, all that jazz.
Well, see, that's actually one of those things that's the best part about having digital dice is that you can just throw in whatever nonsense you want. Like the coolest digital dice app I've ever seen is the one that they have on Board Game Geek, where you can actually tell it to put labels on the dice faces instead of having numbers on the dice.
Yeah. There's one site I use with my Sunday group, which I only got a message and I'm not going to be able to make it on Sunday because I'm playing in the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention in the Sunday game, which is happening right now on the Dungeon Delvers Dungeon Delvers Guac Discord server. So if you haven't joined that yet, games are still going on all weekend long. So hurry up and get in.
Yeah, I'm on that. It's just like I haven't had time to do anything yet.
That's the thing. It's like all the games happen at like the time that I'm not available to play.
Yeah, kind of.
Because, actually, I may be able, since we're going to be ending early, I may be able to join in Jack McCarthy's Calorath game he's playing today. Kind of last. Because I was only going to play the Monday one and the Sunday one, but since we're getting off, since we're going to end early today, I may hop in on that one. So, there was another space game I came across that I was thinking about. There's like I think this is one that I think he uses the Modiphius system with the 2D20. It's like Space 1989 or something like that.
You know what? I am going to go and look on my thing on my computer for a bit. Okay, so I have this rather large archive of things that I've found at various points. Just I don't even remember where I got some of these from. So, like Black Hack, we kind of did that one already. Chalt is can be played as a sci-fi space thing because like one of the suggested ways to play it is basically pop sci-fi, like the old school punk whatever sci-fi stuff.
Here we go. This is what it's Space 1999, the role-playing game. That's what I saw.
Huh.
I'm trying to remember. I think he uses Modiphius. Yeah, it's Modiphius. That's right.
I don't remember where I got it, but I have a copy of Stars Without Number.
Oh, I have the free version of it. I don't have the actual full version. I just have the free version.
Yeah, it's like this one actually does say it's the free version. Okay.
Yeah, I do, but I do own the actual full version of Cities Without Number, which is sci-fi and cyberpunk kind of mixed in. Yeah, because wasn't Space 1999, wasn't that like a show or something?
Yes. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. Oh, here's something that's interesting. Someone at some point in time made a Diablo 2 themed official supplement for Dungeons and Dragons.
I do remember hearing about that.
I don't remember where I got a copy of it, but I just noticed that I have one on my computer.
And then you can't buy it anywhere right now, but someone did make it's a Red Dwarf the role-playing game, which uses it's the one that the Smallville, the Supernatural, and the Buffy the Vampire Slayer RPGs use, which is like the Cortex system, to where it was more about the roles or more about like the narrative of the story instead of more like the skills and mechanics. Because the idea was like for the Cortex system was like you could play these TV shows characters and like actually roll out like if you want episodes to be differently or not, but you can also it gives you like rules for like making characters as well.
Oh yeah, one thing that's I think would be something that would be a good thing for a Diablo 2 based TTRPG is having a system where there's a random tile placement gimmick, because that was actually how the computer game worked. Is that when you played the computer game, you didn't actually know where anything was on the map because the game would randomize the map every time you played. So it's like in the game, even after you played it several times, you still have to actually work at it to find things. And that is actually something that in a TTRPG would translate to that like tile mapping thing that we have in this game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think other space games because I think I own a few others. You just can't remember my. Well, there is also the new the dropship game that's about to be released by DM Blackwall, the creator of Horde Wars. That's about to be dropping out soon, and that one's basically like a kind of like a 40K mixed with all your typical like space stuff.
Let's see here. There's Star Trek Adventures, and then there's the Unicorn game version of Star Trek.
Yeah. I would love to try out the TSR version of like of a Star Trek that they tried to make that apparently failed horribly, but I would love to try it out and see how it plays. Because I think they changed to something else, because I know you can get it on like drive-through now.
Would you characterize a Dragon Ball Z themed game as space sci-fi or not?
I would. That's a very good question. You know, they did actually make a Dragon Ball Z RPG at one point in time in like the early 2000s, but it was basically like one-on-one type stuff, and it was like they were and you were basically just doing like combat style. You were just doing like Mortal Kombat style like fighting rounds, basically. But
yeah, I've never actually tried playing any Diablo or Dragon Ball themed thing, although I apparently have one saved on my computer.
Yeah, there was like a bunch of files because there was the main game, and then they did like a couple supplements because you had for the Frieza arc. I think they did one for the Cell arc. I would not call it space though. I would call it because freaking Lord Mateus and Gary were talking about this last night about like if like certain games, sci-fi games, are actually just science fantasy games, because technically they were saying Star Wars is science fantasy, not science fiction.
Well, see, that's actually one of those things that gets weird, because it all depends on how you define the borders of fantasy, and depending on the way you define it, Dragon Ball would actually fit into the sci-fi category. But again, it's like certain ways of defining it, because like if you count Star Wars as science fiction, then Dragon Ball is equally science fiction.
Yeah, I don't know if I would still call it science fiction though, because I mean, yeah, there is like space and then like some technology and stuff, but it's more focused on like the powers and the fighting.
Well, also there's
But
the fact that the technology in Dragon Ball is basically just power of plot, and they don't really have a particularly well-defined concept of limitations for it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't call because I wouldn't call it fantasy though either at the same time, even though there is like maybe urban fantasy, I would call it, because you have like characters that are like werewolves that like have fought in like the older Dragon Ball episodes. And then you also have like even Dragon Ball Z, you have like the androids and all that. So maybe urban fantasy, not just straight fantasy. I don't know. They also tried to say last night that Star Trek is somehow science fantasy, and I'm like, no, Star Trek is pure science fiction.
No, it's not. I would not actually consider Star Trek to be pure science fiction, because of the fact that it has way too much what's the best way to put this? The power of plot compels you things where it's just like, Does this have anything to do with real world science? No, no, it doesn't. It's science as defined in Star Trek, which has no bearing on reality. Star Trek has been going in that direction very, very hard ever since the um, original pilot episode. And it's like, so it's like never really what people would consider hard science fiction. It's soft science fiction where they spit out sci-fi terms that sound cool but actually mean nothing in every single episode. And then you have the fact that in Star Trek there are some cases where the plot literally does not have an explanation. It's like from an in-universe perspective, the main characters know that something happened, but even at the end of the episode, they still don't know what happened or why. Although a lot of those are presented as being like some sort of like a super alien thing. Although the whole like super alien thing in Star Trek is part of what makes it soft science fiction in the first place, is that beings like Q, there is no explanation in universe or out of universe for how Q's powers work. They just do. But like Q is the most egregious example and not actually the most commonly seen thing. And that's the part that gets weird, is that because like psionics have also been a thing in Star Trek ever since the beginning. The way they're portrayed is extremely inconsistent, and sometimes they're actually really, really broken. The way Star Trek uses them.
Mm. Yeah, but well, I think we're gonna go ahead and we'll call it here for today. So apologies,
Okay.
folks, that we couldn't go as long as we usually do, but we'll just see how it goes. I will let everyone know we are moving to just be a bi-weekly show for the time being. We're gonna we're putting the politics and the news stuff aside for time being, because like I was told the guys privately, it has been repeats of the same crap over and over again, and honestly I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. I just
Yeah,
can't
that's
find.
one of those things where you basically have to carefully choose a topic, otherwise it's lame and boring.
Yeah, because like a lot of the pop culture stuff has kind of like died down, where it's just still the same thing about like it's still like the same censorship and like fake women crap. And then in politics, it's all bomb Iran kind of at the moment. And I'm just like, I don't care
I mean,
anymore.
as interesting as discussing Iranian history is, we're talking about things that happened 40 years ago to a lot of this, and it's just like, okay, well, I mean, we already talked about that once, so
Yeah, exactly. So you're going. So it'll be more RPGs and less political discussions for the time being. So because I think that's just kind of what I want to focus a little bit more on my now personally. I just want to do more games, especially since I've been in this big burnout kind of phase at the moment. So I'm trying to keep it simple, stupid, as the saying goes.
okay. After looking at my Dragon Ball Z stuff I have saved, I think I actually have copies of 2 different TTRPGs.
Yep. So Mohawk, tell everyone where they can find you at.
I am on YouTube. I am currently nearly done doing a video about every single episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And yeah, that was part of the reason why I had that thing I said about space magic, because the number of episodes that comes up in is surprisingly large.
Hmm.
I also sometimes stream on Kick and Twitch. And if you want to talk to me, an easiest way to find me is I go on Twitter.
Yep. And as always, you can find me on X, YouTube, and Rumble under the Ultra American TTRPGer at Ultra TTRPGER, where I usually will try to I either upload a video or do a live stream on Fridays. I did a 2.5 hour stream with Mark of Amazing Game Productions last night, talking about his Tales from Trinity City superhero game. Go check it out. It was actually really fun to go over that, because it's definitely one of the better superhero games I've came across throughout all the ones I've looked over. So yeah, just go check it out and see for yourself. See if it's for you. And then join us again here in a couple of weeks for another Ultracast, where hopefully we'll continue our Flushed Out campaign. So Everyone, have a good weekend. Roll some dice and be safe.